Welcome back to AngryFireChozo Part 8. And here we have our Ridley fight. And this is I have to say it's kind of an unbalanced fight. Because on the one hand, I mean, your vertical movement is really slow and his is not. So that's like a big advantage for Ridley, but the room is set up in a way that is not very good for Ridley. I mean, you see he'll get up too off, and gets you stuck in the wall, and oftentimes they'll put you in a position where he's a sitting duck, and you can just stay there for a little while and pummel him. So it's really kind of unbalanced, although it is one of the best Ridley rooms I've seen. I just kind of like it. But I think that is just kind of unbalanced there. Now there's an interesting bit of trivia about this room. You'll be going down that elevator shaft there during the escape. But if you look carefully, you'll notice while you're going down the elevator, there's doors. And when you're exploring this room now, those doors don't exist. And that was something he overlooked while making the hack accidentally, and I know it kind of bugs him, but I think it's kind of cool, to be honest. Have disappearing doors and stuff like that. But there's just something interesting that making a hack in a month, he overlooks stuff like that. Because you could never reach those doors from the elevator, so it's not like it didn't lead to any perma-stuck situations. I really don't know exactly what he had going for that room. I don't know what his purpose for it was, besides another room. And here's his endless room with his warping BTS blocks. Basically, you just keep running. You can make it. Those bugs are deadly. I think they're the most deadly creatures in this hack. If you don't have speed boost or a screw attack, when you go through them, they will murder you. And it's very surprising because nobody ever has those creatures. Those little bugs hurt you, and all of a sudden you get in this room and they're all over the place, and you touch them and you get fried. I don't know. Get another strange enemy usage that helps keep this hack separated from some others. And believe it or not, he's getting space jump. Now it is in one of the, again, probably the coolest tile set I've ever seen, along with a palette. And it's just, I don't know about you, I just love this. But he's also, now the path to the right actually leads to Bomb Chozo. But as I mentioned before, there's no need for fighting him because you don't get any items whatsoever. You don't even get a missile tank. He doesn't unlock anything. He's just there to, if you find him, you've got to fight him. And that's it. Which, I have to say, is pretty, I just find that amusing, to be honest. So, yeah, basically now he's been to almost everywhere. He's just going backtracking and collecting the last few items he's got. That's what this rest of this video and the next one most are going to be, is him collecting the last few items. I don't know, that wreck ship music just doesn't fit there for some reason. Not to me, anyway. And that right there is actually about the only use for space jump you are ever going to have. Once again, through the angry sky. And back through here. Now I have to say this, like most really, or at least two hacks that a lot of people consider to be really good, like Redesign and Iris, or Eris, however you want to say it, use the Chozo statues in different ways. Redesign, you had to get to them to unlock the last area, and Iris, you had to click the, I think, 4 artifacts, and then you would have this particular Chozo. It would then allow it to walk down through the mushrooms down beneath the room, so you could get to the final part of the game. And that's something I find very interesting, that two of the more acclaimed hacks both use those Chozo statues in different ways. I think a lot of times you'll find them. I don't know. There was I guess it kind of depends on what the person making the hack feels like, whether they want to even include the Norfair, the wreck ship Chozo statues, just because they're kind of... I've never worked with them myself, so I don't know how much of a hassle they are to set up. I think they have to be in their same rooms unless you play around with their coding and stuff. But yes, pretty much almost every item left is on this side of the ship. And believe it or not, he's taking the long route. Yeah, but basically you've gotten almost all the hack done, so. And it really doesn't feel like it's 64% the size of the original, but you also have to know there's multiple routes on the escape, and he's counting every screen in the escape in his total. So that's something to keep in mind. It may be 64% the size of the original, but you're not going to be able to go through all of it, because you can't go through every route in the escape, because there's a short way and a long way. Of course, the short way, he almost makes you take it because you don't expect. There's like a hole in the floor and you don't expect it, so you always pretty much fall into it. But anyway, he's going back here to get more items, obviously. And it's an interesting thing he overlooked up here, which these pipes are obviously solid tiles. You can't go through them, but boost ball, how it's set up in this, lets you boost through a single block like that. Now it wouldn't have done that if he'd made that block right underneath either of those pipes solid, because it can't boost through two. It would have bounced them back up, but because it was one, he's kind of stuck in there. And that may seem like a slight overlook, but when it does something like this, you've got, I don't think you feel like it was overlooked. You feel like that was something pretty important that needed to be taken care of. But anyway, they'll do it for part 8. See you for part 9.